So we just looked at the math morning message and we were looking at which clock said 4:30. So what I wanted to show you guys was my handy dandy Judy clock. She is my demonstration clock, and every year she helps me teach students how to tell time. So I wanted to prove to you that the clock on the right-hand side that we just looked at in our math message is the correct time. So what I've done is I've put the hour hand, which is the shorthand, pointing towards the 4. And then I've also put the minute hand, which is the long hand, pointing towards the 12, otherwise known as o'clock. So right now, this clock says 4 o'clock. What I want you to notice, and I want you to observe as the minute hand starts moving, is I want you to notice the hour hand as the minute hand moves. And I want you to tell me what is happening to the hour hand as the minute hand is moving. Are you ready to watch? I'm going to move this one, but you are paying attention to the hour hand. Watch this. Ready? We're going to start out at 4 o'clock and move to 4:30. Here we go. Do you notice something happening to the hour hand as the minute hand moves to the 6? Go ahead and raise your hand to tell your teacher what you noticed about the hour hand as the minute hand moved towards the 6. Okay, guys, what did you notice? Did you notice that as the minute hand moved around the clock, the hour hand also moved around the clock? Watch one more time. So I'm going to go ahead and have this set at 4 o'clock again. The long hand, the minute hand, is on the 12, and the hour hand is on the 4. In writing, we've been talking about movement. So this is pretty cool that we can incorporate a little bit of movement into our math and look at the clock. So again, watch the hour hand as the minute hand moves around. Here we go. Which hand is moving faster? You're right, it's the minute hand that's moving faster. The hour hand is moving, but it's moving at a slower rate. All right, so now I have what we see as 4:30. So in the math message, this is what your clock looked like, the one that was to the right. Your hour hand was between the 4 and the 5, just like this clock. And your minute hand was pointing to the 6, which is the 30-minute mark. So we have proven that the hour hand definitely should be between the 4 and the 5, because the minute hand is not the only hand that's moving. The hour hand moves right along with it, just at a slower rate. What do you think is going to happen to the hour hand as I slowly move the minute hand back towards the 12? Again, keep your eye on that hour hand. Here we go. Slowly moving towards the 12. Our minutes are ticking by, ticking by. Watch the hour hand. And to the 12. What happened to the hour hand? The clock now shows 5 o'clock. So the minute hand, because the minute hand is moving, the hour hand moved right along with it. It takes the minute hand a whole time around for the hour hand to get to the next hour. Watch the minute hand as it goes around the clock one full time. The hour hand is going to move from the 5 to the 6. Watch, here we go. Amazing, right? So it takes the minute hand one full circle around the clock. When the clock hands go around, that's called clockwise. So the minute hand goes around one full circle, and the hour hand moves to the very next hour or the very next number on the clock face. I'm going to move the minute hand a couple of different places, and I want you to describe what you notice. Here we go. I'm going to stop at the 10 this time. What do you notice about the hour hand? Well, I can see that it's almost 7 o'clock. It's about 7 o'clock. It's not quite there yet. Once my minute hand goes all the way to the 12, it will be 7 o'clock. Watch. There we go. 7 o'clock. Watch the minute hand go around again. Once the hand gets about right here to the 11 spot, it's just before the next time, right? So we're still in the 7 o'clock zone right now because the minute hand stopped at the 11 and hasn't gotten to the 12 yet. We're still in this 7 o'clock zone. So if your hour hand is between two numbers, you always say the earlier number. So the earlier number for this pair would be 7. So this is showing just before 8 o'clock. Like I said, once the minute hand gets all the way back to the 12, then it becomes the next hour, which is 8 o'clock. When our minute hand is over here, close to the 1 or the 2 or the 3, we can say that it's just after 8 o'clock. I can see that the hour hand is now in the 8 o'clock zone. Our minute hand has passed the 12, and so we are looking at a time that's just after 8 o'clock. When my minute hand is back down to the 6 or the 30-minute mark, we can say that the time is between 8 and 9 o'clock because it's right there in the middle. When our minute hand is halfway through the circle, we can say that our time is between 8 and 9 o'clock for this particular time. And if our minute hand gets closer and closer to the 12, we can always estimate and say, oh, well, it's almost 9 o'clock. When we think about the time, I want to tell you something. Time is always an estimate. Time is always an estimate because by the time you say the time, it's already a little bit later. So time is always an estimate. We're going to be learning a whole bunch about clocks and hour hands and minute hands. Let me ask you a couple of questions. If you don't need to know the exact time, which hand is the most important one to look at? Did you say the hour hand? You're correct. Could you tell the time if you only had one hand on the clock? No, you can't. You need both hands. You need an hour hand and you need a minute hand. So it's important for us to learn about using both of those hands. What if your clock only had an hour hand? Could you estimate the time then? Yes, you can. By the placement of the hour hand, we can determine about how many minutes have gone by. For example, let's pretend that this minute hand is not on there. If I looked at only the hour hand and it was pointing right between the 9 and the 10, I could estimate that it was about 9:30. 9:30 would actually look a lot like this. So if the hour hand was between two numbers, I would say it's about 9:30. Last question. Which hand on the clock helps you tell time to the minute? That's a trick question. It's the minute hand, of course. All right, boys and girls, you did an excellent job listening today. And if something is confusing you, don't worry. We're going to keep working on this as we continue in Unit 4. Today's only the first day. We've got plenty of time to learn all about the analog clock. So I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls. Have a great day.